Hello, and welcome to another scene set in The Living World of Darkness, Guru Edition. As we begin, as Eunice comes into Jacob's little ward, stating that he has a new visitor, as he's just been playing Tetris, and then moving on to Pokemon Yellow, as it has arrived. He's been playing it for the past God knows how many hours, because it's Pokemon Yellow. Are you not going to play it? Come on. And
silly Pikachu.
But evidence of a new visitor does earn his attention, if only barely, from the love of that Pikachu grants to all, and he'll put down the game.
Yeah.
And kind of hurry for Venus to let the this new visitor in, as he does feel kind of bad, really, for being a bit pushy towards the nurse. She does a good job, but she's been like this non-stop deck of smiles towards him the whole time. It's relentless. Something that he does find rather nice, as he also has worked in emergency services, a different sector, but still, there's a degree of kind of acknowledgement there for him. That he, they do jobs that help people, and that's something that they don't always get paid well for or really appreciated. And in hindsight, he really should respect her a lot more than he does.
Those terrible, terrible smiles. We feel so bad for him that he gets smiled on so relentlessly.
Indeed.
Yes. But yeah, Chloe made her way through. She went through whatever security things had to be gone through. She signed in, and she made a point to not be overly high on the rage when she did come in, because that would just be kind of silly. She definitely spent some extra time just pushing herself really hard while running today, and just kind of got some of that out of her system, which is probably smart when you're going to go to a hospital. Yeah, she kind of comes in. If apparently he realized there was someone there and opened the door for her, I assume. So, or she'd go into the room. I don't know. However it works. She walks in and she's carrying a rather familiar tote bag. She always seems to have a tote bag with her. And looks, pretty innocuous. I mean, she's still a rage monster, but come on. Who could look less innocent than this girl right now? Like wearing the bright yellow and the scarf and the ponytail. It's horribly innocent. And she kind of looks at Jacob, who is, I don't know, did you kind of just drop was it a Game Boy?
So Jacob, when you see him, yeah, he's put down a Game Boy on like a small desk with a lamp on it next to him. But Jacob, well, he's not as battered as he was, but he's still pretty bruised up. He's got a black eye. There's his torso is bandaged. There was a snapped rib there. Two of his front teeth are still missing. It's pretty grim. Although not quite as bad as expected, as he's still a guru and he still has had some time to heal up. Even in Hobbit, he still healed fairly fast for a human.
She'll kind of give him the once over, just that kind of assessing kind of thing, and just shake her head and be like, they really pulled that over on you pretty good, didn't they?
I got knocked out twice. Twice.
Maybe it was for the best.
Oh no, it definitely was.
How are you doing?
Better now. Getting to see my parents again is a weight off my shoulders, to be honest. My mum was pretty torn up and worried, so it's good that I'm able to put her mind at ease.
So you have seen your parents then?
Yeah,
How did they react to you, since things happened?
well, they're still not in the know, so
No, but did they freak? I mean, more than you might expect over either how hurt you were?
I mean, my mum did. She was but that's how parents are. So
Well, yeah, of course. I didn't mean that. I guess, well, my parents kind of had to accept that it was going to be like that because they're kind of in the know. Um, they knew how it was going to be. But I guess I mean, are they connected to us? And they just don't know it? That's what I'm wondering. Are they our family?
that's the that's what everyone seems to be thinking. I mean,
I
that's the
just
most
think,
logical explanation, and yeah, it's
that's all I
probably.
meant. Because if they're not freaking out, then they're probably, you could bring them in.
I mean, they're not uncomfortable around me. If that's what you're asking, no.
It is actually. That's good though. It's a good sign. It means at least you can keep them around you.
That was the goal of all this. I'd be pretty disappointed if I couldn't do that.
Well, I mean, I thought some of us could be born without being connected. You know what I mean? It can happen. And I didn't know whether it was just one or both, or one who was connected and one who wasn't. So I'm happy for you.
Thanks. It's sort of right off my mind.
I bet. She kind of looks around a second and kind of spots a chair. Do you mind if and she kind of gestures to the chair?
Yeah, no, he's happy for you to take a seat.
She kind of wanders over to the chair. Isn't sure what he's doing, but that's all right. Trying to make things look as normal as possible for people who might be coming by and listening or catching things. It's weird to stand at the doorway and talk. That's the main reason why she's not being super clear now, because she's not sure if they record stuff like what happens in rooms. And
They're not. Dr. Mega seen to that, and if Dr. Mega hasn't, Ping certainly has. Because she literally swept the room Jacob was in.
That's actually pretty fair. So, she's like, so, yeah, you don't look so great, but I've seen worse. So that's a good thing too.
Should be out in a day or two.
And then what?
Back to business. Already answered all the questions I had to.
Are you gonna go back on
the job?
You are?
I don't know. It's
Well, if not, I mean, at the very least, you have a good excuse as to why you're not. If someone asks you.
yeah. Difficulty would actually be finding another job. Hopefully someone. I have to talk to the Glasswalkers about that one.
Glasswalkers are useful, and I have a couple of them kind of closely connected to me at this moment. So she's
Ping and Aaron, right?
yeah. Ping's joined our pack, and she's a really good addition. She told me where you were. Oh,
Oh.
speaking of which, Eric said to tell you hi.
In which case, I appreciate it.
He's even harder to get in here, looking normal than me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, but he did send a hi. So he thought of you. It's all good. Oh, speaking of things, and she's gonna grab her tote bag and kind of rummage in there a minute, and she's gonna pull out. She's like, I wasn't really sure what you were into, and I guess you do have stuff to do. I didn't realize you did. So she kind of looks at the Game Boy and looking a little shocked actually, because who plays on a Game Boy these days?
Ping does, that's it.
Oh, out of character, totally me too, but to Chloe, no. And she's like, I'm not sure what you're into, but and she kind of pulls out a stack of like comic books and some magazines in there as well. And she's like, I'm not sure if you're into either of these things, but I kind of just got a variety of things that maybe you might find something you liked.
Oh, that's sweet, thanks.
Although if you want to play your game over there, that's fine too. She'll hand him this. It's not a huge stack, but it's got a variety of different types of magazines and stuff.
I almost beat it. I know this game like the back of my hand.
But you keep playing it over and over?
It's fun.
I guess there's no arguing that.
He begins rapidly like tapping on and off the Pikachu stat menu, so you just hear that noise over and over again for a good 5 seconds.
She stares at his hand and at the game during that time. Doesn't say anything, just kind of watches.
See, how is this not fun? It's Pikachu.
There's nothing wrong with Pikachu. I guess I just haven't played Pokemon in a really long time.
I still try and keep up. All the new ones, though. God, some of them are a bit silly. One's literally an ice cream cone, and then its another form is 2 ice cream cones.
Even kind of like a Diglett and a Dugtrio?
Yeah, but they were cool. Granted, I have no idea what they were supposed to represent. I guess they're like moles?
I think so, but they're multiple moles. It's a little weird.
Yeah, oh, they're like triplets. They're like Magneton. They're all connected.
So basically what you're saying is if we take multiple Pokemon and shove them together somehow, basically we mutate them. We just take so say I take 2 Rattatas and shove them together so they have 2 heads, it's a whole new Pokemon?
Well, no, Diglett just evolves on its own into a Dugtrio. It doesn't need 3 Diglets. I think that's one way to do it, though. I think it said that in the deck somewhere. Which is kind of creepy when I think about it, but...
Yeah, a little bit.
But they're still cool. How have you been doing?
I'm okay. Lots of stuff going on around, but there always is.
Yeah. It's kind of why I want to get out of here as soon as possible.
But it's also important to have your life back.
Yeah.
So that's really the important part, I think.
I guess you could consider the hospital ward as to transition towards my new double life.
She considers a moment. Yeah. I can accept that. I mean, it is, I guess. It's also, I mean, the thing is, though, your life essentially ended in its own way the second that that happened to you. That doesn't mean that you're kind of, well, it doesn't mean that you can't remember things from the past, but if you have any friends that aren't like us, they're going to be freaked out by you. You can't keep every friend you've ever had. That's why it kind of sucks, when you grow up outside of us. Because you kind of lose a lot more.
Yeah. I've got the big five that I'm working on maintaining, though, I guess you could say. And I have a couple of days as to how I can keep it kosher. So I think it'll work out mostly.
Well, good. I most certainly hope so. It's I don't know. To be honest, I find it hard to exist out here sometimes. It gets weird.
Yeah, I can see that.
But sometimes you also need a break.
Yeah. To be honest, when I'm no longer carb, I'll probably be living off set mainly.
You said on or off?
Off.
I do mostly too. I mean, I have the apartment I share with my sisters, so I have the whole basement to myself, which is nice. No, it's a finished basement. It's a really nice basement.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I chose it. They might have bedrooms upstairs, but I have the whole basement and a bathroom I don't have to share.
Hey, I'm glad that you're proud of it.
Okay, I grew up with two sisters. Sharing a bathroom is not good.
Yeah, I grew up an only child, so I probably wouldn't know how that hell feels like.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying you'll ever get to understand that entirely unless you actually find yourself in a place where you have to share a bathroom with amongst three girls, or in your case, if you just had two other girls there, then you'd understand.
I think I'm learning. I mean, Snipple stole my mattress.
Why?
I don't know. She wanted the mattress. I got a new one. I actually built a den, which she liked. It's actually quite comfy. When I'm not on two legs, anyway.
Well, of course. I mean,
But no, it's actually quite fun making it.
good. You need to learn about that side of yourself, and you know that, though. I mean, you didn't want to leave Lupus last time I met you, so. I'm not going to say that I will ever understand Lupus entirely, but I'd like to say that at least that I appreciate it, and I try to figure out what I can, I'm, I don't know, you hear a lot of people talking about getting to know the wolf heart kind of thing. And sure, that's important. It is. But are we really ever going to understand it if you're not born to it?
Well, I think there's a difference between understanding it and being it. So, I mean, in theory, I think if we really wanted to, we could be it. But I think what's more important is understanding it. I mean, in a way, we are that. We are being it in a way, but not in the same way, not to the same extent. I would say not to the same extreme, but that makes it sound like a bad thing. You know, it's just a matter of being brought up differently. So,
Yeah.
you know, because they're more used to it. It's what they know. It's what they mainly are. So, and it's like what we are is different, but it doesn't mean we can't understand or in a way even be like what they are, or and vice versa. It's just a matter of it takes more time and effort to do so because of the way we're wired.
It is. Yeah. I don't know. It's a process. We just all hope we survive long enough to come to some kind of understanding.
Still alive. Still alive. Kind of. Well, I'm missing 2 teeth. I'm planning on getting those back.
I don't think you need to worry about that. I imagine they would probably come back. At least I wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah, as soon as I get out of here, I'm getting those teeth back.
But you look so great without them. But either way, I is this any kind of welcome change compared to the park?
I mean, when I was a cop, sometimes you'd have to work with the other emergency services. Hospital wards are never pretty looking. But, yeah, being out of the park is a nice change of pace. Just because, I don't know, it can be a bit tiring sometimes. It's a bit isolating, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that part's compared out here, yeah, definitely. I mean, of course. Um, I don't know. In some ways, I miss like if I just go for a hike or something here in the park. I kind of wander for I don't know 5 minutes before I run into somebody else. As compared to back home, I could wander for miles and I might not run into anyone else. I think that's the biggest problem I've had was more, getting used to all the people around.
Oh yeah, there's one thing the city is it's crowded.
Oh yeah, beyond crowded. It's crazy. And like you're from here, right? Isn't that what you told me?
Yeah,
So you're kind of used to that then, right?
yeah. It's it can actually be quite interesting sometimes, just because you're always meeting new people.
Well, I'm not saying that part isn't interesting. I just met this. I just met someone. What yesterday? She's really serious, and I don't know the way she talks. It's not like she doesn't want to have fun. And the shame cart was he somehow came into the picture again for one of the cubs.
Oh god, I can't go for the machine car. Was it snowballs again?
No, no, it was She like kind of pauses a second as if trying to remember the name. I just met him. Fiona. kind of, well, at least Vianna blood. Liam.
Oh, that's interesting. He seems like a very mm, old school kind of fella. Looks very much very hardline in a lot of ways. What did he pull? That's going to be interesting. I can't imagine him doing something that will break the rules.
He was a bit of a smartass. He was a bit of a smartass to her. I don't think it's all that big of a deal myself. I mean, all she did was put him in a cart. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest.
She? Hank?
Reiko?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that now. Nice.
Yeah, she's pretty serious and a little bit, I don't know, what's the right word for it? Like, all she really wanted was silence, and there were these lupuses playing in the water, and I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know. I have no problem with her per se, other than it just seemed a little bit over the top to punish a cub rather than just jump in there and, like, play too. Like, yeah, really? And then you just go do it better than them, you know? That seems a little bit more normal to me, but I don't know. To each their own. I don't mean to be judgmental. We all have our own lives to live.
Yeah. I actually met her when she came into the set. She has a bit of baggage, I'll just leave it at that. And did something
I may have heard.
shitty.
I may have heard something about what happened with that, but I'm not. I don't know if it's my place to say what I've heard. So.
Yeah, I don't know what you've heard, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. But I was there when the reasons were stated, so. But I think that's probably why she's so serious.
I might tell you another time, but not right now. She's so new that I'd rather just let it be for the moment and see how things play out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather not disrespect Cliff, or, for that matter, really,
someone who uses the shame card.
Well, depends on what he did. But
he shook water off on her.
Okay.
I did the same thing earlier. Huh. What? I might be kind of serious, but you know what? I can have fun, be a little silly, right? Right.
So did he do it to you, or do you mean did you do it to her?
I did it to her, he did it to her.
Could be that she just lost her temper the second time it happened, or maybe this is kind of a superiority kind of thing.
It probably is. At least that's how I took it, because she didn't do anything to me. I probably just would have shook off on her again. No.
I mean, to be honest, if I wasn't playing, I just wanted to sit there and people were throwing water on me. I'd probably be pretty irritated with both of you, but...
Yeah, but she didn't do anything to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd just stated my irritation rather evenly rather than throwing the level one person. Seems a bit unfair, but oh well.
I'm just going to say...
It's nice to minor issue.
I guess, I don't know. Rank is important amongst us, I guess. I mean, that's really the thing, you know? I've never really questioned it because I always grew up that way. Like, it's just something that is what it is. I mean, the way we managed to get that rank is its own thing, but if we've earned it, you know?
Yeah, and there's a time and a place to be a smartass, and sometimes we have to learn the hard way. I mean, it also doesn't help that he's not a Ragged Ash, because he probably could have gotten away with it then. But... oh well. I mean, aren't Philodoxes the humorless ones? I thought we would have been the ones that wouldn't have done that.
That's a good point. It does that. That's a good point. It makes me wonder why he did do it.
He's a pretty hardliner. Might have been to make a point. That's why I kind of question that it might be that both people on both sides of the spectrum here were not exactly correct in what they did.
Honestly, if I could have done it in some way that I thought it made more sense, I would have had no problem dunking her, just because we were just being silly. Like, normally, I think the way people do that kind of thing is if you get dunked or splashed, you splash back, right? And he's the one. She was the one hanging out right by the water of the lake. You know what I mean? Where there were two Lupuses playing, and then a third joined. It just seems like you'd almost expect to get all wet.
He was not a Lupus.
No, but he was in Lupus.
That's true.
I mean, I'm not a Lupus either, but I was in Lupus, so...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
I just mean two wolves playing.
I guess this serves as something as a test for Liam. He's usually pretty clear in his intent. But it did give me, because of the way he carries himself, which isn't bad. I don't want to give that impression. How he would treat someone who'd already been punished for a crime.
How he would treat someone who's already been punished for a crime? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Wait, so has he been in a situation in something like that before?
No, it's just that the attitude he carries, if you're not careful, can lend itself to a sense of superiority, as in, this person has a black mark on their record and I'm stainless, and I'm the judge and the jury and the executioner in many instances. It's because of that hardline attitude. I've seen it before in the Force. It's a human thing as well. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what his intent is, so I can't judge either way. But it is something to keep an eye on, just because, we always have to, especially as Philodoxes, we are the ones who, we are the judges, and we're the ones who do mediate and have to keep things fair. So if any of us are acting out of line, if there's even a whiff of it, we have to be ready to say, no, that's not okay. Because, it's a case of who's watching the watchers. Well, that's not always kicked out.
I don't know. I don't think I could ever be a Philodox. I just don't think that's something that I could do. Can't imagine it. You have my respect if you can pull it off.
Well, the way I perceive it, it's basically my job to be fair and treat people fairly. So.
True, but sometimes that choice isn't so easy. Like what is fair and what is not fair is not always simple and cut and dried. I mean,
not even remotely.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If you look at my former alpha, I think he was intrinsically a good man. He ended up doing what he did to Teeth of Titanium because he was trying to protect his pack, and Garou he considered his sister. Based on those two things, he willingly put his life on the line and took his hand, he took the life of another Garou, but he did it to protect us. no, if you look at that, yes, he did the crime. But why did he do the crime? You see what I'm saying? And so this starts getting really, really tricky and complex. It's like, okay, yes, he did the crime, but does he deserve the punishment? And obviously that was decided. He was killed, you know, he was punished. But I don't know. I mean, me looking at that, I would kind of want to just punish him and not kill him, because I don't see any reason why he would deserves to be executed for that when he was just trying to protect the rest of us. That's probably why I'm not a Philodox.
Being good often means not being nice, but I'm of a substantially more merciful bent, I think, than a lot of other Philodoxes I've heard of. Maybe that will change. I would rather it not. I actually had a talk with Payne about second chances. I feel like I've been given 3, so... And, well, Riko's here, she's been given a second chance just to be here, so...
Who has?
Riko.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so too. That's the idea that Pig was saying something about that. Do you know what that second chance was about?
I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning was behind her being sent here or being allowed to live or anything like that. I believe it was something to do with the litany. It was pretty serious. Probably not. That's the thing, right? He doesn't actually have anything about Garou on Garou. You know,
Chloe nods.
I can't really make a comparison about Kima and Garou because that's actually not in the litany. And granted, it obviously has its own very obvious set of issues, but I'm surprised it's not laid out. So there's a precedent for us to follow, because from what I hear, this happens more often than we'd like.
Someone I know recognized something. Oh hell, I don't think it's going to stay a secret. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure what I think. There is a symbol that I personally saw on her wrist. I didn't recognize what it was, but I saw the symbol. Someone else I know recognized the symbol. And obviously we should be careful who we say this to, or, you know, any of that kind of thing. But apparently the symbol is one that is used for someone who's given birth to a Metis child. She's actually watching him pretty closely at this point. She's trying to get a reaction to see what his first thought is on this. You know, just try to see how he reacts to that.
He kind of looks down and contemplates this for a moment. Yeah, I thought on that one a lot. That's always a hard one to really judge. because there are reasons behind why those things happen, but those end up so tragically. Often it's better to just not do it, and ultimately giving birth to a child that will never be normal, always have something wrong with them.
I wouldn't judge. I'm not saying that I would. It's not the same thing as, say, giving birth to a child who has some crippling disease or a syndrome of some sort. You know, it's not the same thing. Because what you just said could fit that as well. I would never have a problem with that, because that's your child. You just do that. You know what I mean? Like, if that happens, you take care of them.
Well, the problem with matters is that you know it's going to happen beforehand, so it muddies the waters, but it's a fair point to make, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the metis thing is like, there's a difference when it's a metis. Because that is a definite litany issue. But at the same time, we don't want to waste the life of someone who maybe just made one mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what if it was just that one time and she just, boom.
Yeah. The reason I'm not judging is because she's been given her punishment, it's been dealt with. It's not my call to make.
It is. That's true.
At the end of the day, it's that call belong to some philanthropic faraway set. Her crime is to make her peace and find redemption here. I would rather facilitate that rather than getting in its way. That's it.
I hope she can find her peace. I do, because how much must it suck to give birth to a child and then not even get to know them? And Chloe at this point actually looks away as she says that, by the way.
Hmm.
And if you want to pee in it, you most definitely can.
Yeah. Bam, 3 successes.
Let me see.
Wow, that's a lot of successes.
No, it's not, because the 10s don't count. 1, 2, 3.
That's still 4.
4, yeah. She looks away, but just because I did actually say she looked away, I mean, obviously something is up, but you can't figure out what.
Hmm.
Because you didn't, yeah, she got one more success than you, so. If I'd gotten those 10s, that would have been double successes, damn it.
I've had to think a lot about why this law exists and why it is the way it is. And it's one of the grail ones. You know, a lot of them are kind of clear-cut, right? Like combat noir, wherever it does and wherever it reads, to break the veil. A lot of them are basically don't be idiots. This one is. It is.
I'll just add to this bit of conversation. My tribe is not always as rough, I guess you could say, on those who have had metis children. I mean, we still don't approve, but many times. Wait, let me explain a little bit more. Black Furies place a lot of value on the roles of women. I'm sure you're not shocked at all by that. The maiden, the mother, the crone, you know? The role of the mother is very important. And for you to give up your child, regardless of how they were born or what's wrong with them, there is a pretty big social stigma to that. That said, the child is never going to be treated well, although they will probably will, at least in many cases, be at least cared for by the mother. Since obviously the father would have had to come from a different tribe, it's a little bit of a different situation. What happens to him, who knows? Depends on the on the tribe, the sept, you know, the people in charge. But I came away from my sept, which is a Fury sept, my old one, my home sept. I came away from it just kind of thinking about the whole thing. Like, I mean, they were part of us, but they were never treated well. I've met a couple of Medicis here, one of whom was very strange and fairly rude. Nicholas. And I knew Ren, who was probably the kindest person I've ever met. And her alone is enough to make you really second guess your tribe's, at least my tribe's, thoughts on that subject. You know what I mean? To at least consider that maybe there is no real reason why we do this. Like, it's not the child's fault, is it?
I've never viewed a Metis prejudice as wise, ethical, or practical. It doesn't make any sense to me, other than from a perhaps a religious perspective, that even that is murky at best. The Metis would be the victims of a crime, not its perpetrator, so to judge them based on that, to me, doesn't make any sense. It's
like blaming someone for being mugged. It's like blaming them for being mugged when all they were doing was walking down the street.
It is quite literally victim blaming. I'm just going to drop with that.
Yeah.
That is all that it is, and really it has no place in a reasonable discussion, because the Metis did not choose their fate or their life, but the choice was made by their parents.
I think I've come to that conclusion as well. But keep in mind, you're not always talking reasonable people amongst us. We don't always base everything on what is reasonable. We're pretty emotional people, all of us, you know? And sometimes you just want to blame everything around you when shit goes down.
Well, it's the emotional state of the Garou that leads to Metis being born. It only exists for us to give us an anchor to control our emotions. Just my opinion. It's... At the end of the day, yeah, I've met a few unreasonable people already. I won't name them because that would be unfair and unkind. But it is my job to keep the laws and to be honourable and just, and that means, by extension, being reasonable. I have to be. If people have a problem with that, I accept that. I understand that I'm not going to be a particularly popular person in a lot of circles, but as my judge, it is my place to judge a situation based on the facts and assess accordingly.
I actually get that. Yeah, I mean, I do. I get that. She kind of smells at him just a little bit there, looking kind of approving, actually. I think we could use more reasonable minds around here, if you want to know the truth. Sometimes we're a little too hot-headed. I don't know. I guess I mean, I'm only a Cleoth, you know, but in my opinion, that seems to be a pretty valid way to go. Just sit back and reasonably think about things before you decide what you're going to do.
Well, I mean, this kind of goes for a lot of people, not just me, but if someone makes a split decision like that, either it's a very, very, very obvious and simple decision to make, i.e. common sense, or they're viewing it as common sense, which is probably them being unreasonable.
Just keep in mind that there are times that you yourself might not always be so reasonable. Right now, it's fairly easy to do because you're in a very calm place.
Oh no,
You are as much, and I don't mean to say things that you're going to hate or whatever, but you're as much of a monster as the rest of us are. You can just as easily lose it, given the right situation, you know? And me too. Like, all of us can lose control. It's a thing that can happen and does happen. And it gets kind of terrifying when it does. I've been around enough people when they thralled or frenzied at this point. You want to go back to being human, at least to as much as you can, and that's fine. But you're always going to have to be more careful than anybody else. Because you are different. So, I don't know. I guess you get to just try to be the reasonable voice amongst the crazies.
Yeah. I actually had a talk with Ping a few hours ago about that. It was about how some of us walk a thin line. In the sense that when I say someone walks a thin line, it means I expect them to fuck up. Because there's a reason trained gymnasts are the only people who can walk a thin line. Thinks they can walk a thin line and get away with it. I'm expecting them to fall off.
You expected what?
I'm expecting them to fall off. Because a lot of people are not ready for things that they say they're ready for. I certainly wasn't I wasn't fucking ready for this. Hell, I took a beating and I'll willfully say I probably was, well, I was almost certainly not as ready for that as I thought I was. But I dealt with it. Because we have to deal with things we're not ready for. But we absolutely need each other to realize when we are walking off that thin line and falling off. Because it is so easy And people think it is not. I can do this. I can walk that thin line. I won't go too far. And then they do, and they don't realize it. Because this is where the analogy falls apart. Because falling off is not subtle. Falling off a tightrope is not subtle. When you fall off that thin line, that is subtle, and you will not realize it. The people around you might, if they're perceptive enough.
There's a reason why most of us, if we do go out, like amongst all the humans, we tend to go out in at least pairs. So if something happens, there's someone there to smack us down if everything goes wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe humans have a term for it. It's called the buddy system, I think.
Yes. Yes. Last time I went any place, it was with Ping. And actually, Lucas and Liam came along as well. Those two went back because Lucas was drunk off his ass. But, like, I was there with Ping, and nothing happened to us. We were good. But it's just the fact that it could have. And honestly, there were so many people there that were like other types of supernaturals. It was really, really, it was a little much. Like, they were out there just talking about stuff and bringing up things, and we're just like listening, going, maybe we shouldn't be here. And we left because of that. Like, it was really, two of the fairies got into a big fight.
Huh.
Like, if we fought amongst ourselves like that in public, there would be a lot of dead humans around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of terrifying. So, yeah. One of
They
the
fell
people.
off that thin line. They fell off that thin line if they're fighting in public with their powers.
I didn't feel any powers, but I mean, I didn't see anything weird. They were like yelling at each other and calling each other names and stuff like that, you know?
That's being vicious.
Yeah, people were drinking, you know. I was trying to be careful. Like, seriously, like, Pink tucked me into a corner because, you know, my rage is definitely worse than hers. But I was there. I guess for me, honestly, the thing I've discovered that I like best if I'm going to go out is I've been escaping off to other parks to run. I can be out and about in a different place, but I'm just running. I'm just one of many runners, you know? And I find, I don't know, it's my escape.
Everyone needs one.
Yeah. If you want to come along, you could sometime. I'll hold myself back so that you can keep up. She kind of grins at him.
What?
Are you a runner?
I got a lot of exercise because of what I do, but no, not really a runner that much.
Maybe you should try it.
I give it a shot. Shouldn't be that much harder than what my life puts me through. Christ.
Well, I'm not going to beat you up first, so. Once you're back out and about and stuff like that, we'll go for a run. There's this one guy I keep running into there. He seems very, very ordinary, and I kind of like having a conversation with him just because I can feel like I'm a regular person. He doesn't freak out, so I don't know what the heck he is, but he doesn't smell like kinfolk, you know?
Well, as long as it's not at night, you should be fine.
As long as he's what?
As long as you're not out in the night, as long as he's not out in the night.
I don't. I usually do my running during the day. Thanks.
That's good. Yeah, I hear that City Hall is just infested with those buggers right now.
City Hall. You have no idea how much I'm going to bring them down.
Yeah.
Like,
have to
more
take a closer look at that at some point.
someday we will manage this. We'll bring down all those fucking vampires. As she lowers her voice, clearly trying to keep things, even though she's been saying some things. It's just the look on her face. She's obviously not happy at all with the vampires. Like, she seemed okay with the other kinds of, with the fairies or whatever. But no, maybe we can even run into that guy. His name's Luke.
Luke.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't. Well, actually, I do know where to find him, but I don't really want to go looking for him. He owns a Starbucks, and I like coffee much as anyone else, but I just I feel like by walking into a Starbucks, I'm just looking for a problem.
Yeah. Reminds me of a fun story I've had all of his times in there. I literally kept him waiting for 20 minutes. He just wanted one of those little egg things. He spent about half an hour in there trying to get all those things. Poor guy.
Yeah. I don't know, but we'll have to see. But either way, it'll get you once you're stuck back in there again. As more of the time, at the very least, I can get you out a little bit. I assume you're going to go back to being stuck in there, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be looking into all these robberies and killings in the park now. This is getting out of control. Someone's obviously setting us up.
No.
Crime doesn't spike that immediately.
No, and honestly, it seems pretty obvious to me that has to do with the City Hall thing. It all seems to be connected now. It's all those goddamn leeches.
I'll talk with the Glasswalkers about our talk with the Denfather and the Landfill as well. Because I have to clear that with them.
I didn't quite catch most of that. I'm sorry, it was robot.
He says you'll have to have a talk with the Denfather and the Landfill as well as the Glasswalkers about it. See what you can do. I'm kind of built for this sort of thing, so...
No, yeah, if you need someone to, be around so you can go do something, just ask. I can be your chaperone. It'll be all good. Pretty sure I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah. At some point I'm going to have to look into City Hall as well. Megadon.
City Hall... I would just say before you do anything with City Hall to run that past the Wormfoe. At this point, we've traced it down to some interesting places, and well, it's probably a little too overpowered for just us. So you definitely need to talk to the Wormfoe before you do anything with that.
Overpowered? What the hell overpowers us?
No,
it's 5 of us.
I can't. I'm sorry, I'm not catching it.
He says, what the hell overpowers us, let alone 5 of us?
It's some kind of vampires, and they were in... Out of character, I can't remember. I think it was Staten Island. She'll say wherever it was at.
Staten Island.
Yeah.
That place is a fucking hot zone.
Yeah, exactly. And it was too much for... Well, the 4 of my pack that actually are free. As she sort of smiles. So that was the 4 of us, and Garrett was actually around as well when we discovered that. So
that makes things complicated if the corruption goes back there. I guess to give a better image of what I'm thinking, Staten Island is the red zone, Manhattan is the yellow zone. Central Park is the green zone. That's the one safe place. But
is it? Because really, it's not. We keep getting dead bodies.
Mostly safe. The safest it's going to get.
We'll call it greenish yellow, yellowish green.
I guess. Yeah. Greener zone. Yeah, that goes all the way back to a war zone that's going to be hard to navigate through.
Still, yeah, I mean,
We
you definitely seem to have some connections that might be useful, that they might have come up with leads or anything like that, and that's fine. But at the same time, we need to gotta be careful, and we gotta make sure we run everything past the Wormfo, so nobody's gonna end up in a situation with the warder.
Yeah, I'm going to have Hotfix is going to have his plan evaluated by the Wormfo, and I'm going to be working with him on that as well. He plans to head out at FFS.
He's planning to do what to FFS?
Head out at them, hit their subsidiaries, hit subsidiaries of Magadon.
Why not? Kick their ass, you know?
Yeah. And basically to find out where they're hiding. Figure some shit out.
Oh, we have all, I think, taken out some shit on FFS, but they keep throwing more shit at us. So that's the real issue. We need to get them to kind of stop. We need to get them to go the hell away or just get rid of them entirely.
Need to hit them in the pocket.
Market's a good place to hit them. That's a little difficult for us. I can't just stab it in the market.
No. Hotfix had an idea of stealing their shipments and then rearranging the ledger and the scheduling so that we'd basically be taking shipments without them necessarily knowing that they'd be losing money.
You know, I've only met him like once. But, I mean, you know, it's cool. If he is, I mean, he's a glasswalker too, right? So I imagine this is an area he would excel in.
Yeah. I'm planning at some point to have them investigated for corruption. This is a final one, they can't help themselves. The question then will be is if they try to get their claws stuck into the force that's investigating them. So I have to make sure that doesn't happen. So that's going to be my battle. That might be...
Well, we are going to figure this out.
Hmm.
We have to figure this out because I don't think any of us want. I mean, honestly, you know what the whole point of all those bodies being dropped there, right? About and all the attacks. It's all because they're trying to get people to want FFS back in the park.
Yeah. They're playing it very aggressively.
Yes, they are. It's like obvious. I mean, it has to be obvious to pretty much anybody watching that what's going on.
You got a quote. I have a quote. It's a bit cliche.
What's cliche?
No, I have a quote from the...
I'm not catching what you're saying out of character. You
I'm
need a
saying
what?
that he has a quote that's a bit cliche. To beat an enemy, you must know more than just their battle tactics. You must know their history, their philosophy, their art.
Knowing the history actually could be pretty useful. No doubt about that.
It's literally the philosophy of knowing the nature of your enemy in order to beat them. Because battle tactics can be changed if people evolve and adapt. You know who someone is, you know their personality, you know who they are, you know their history, you know how they think. They're literally going to have to change the person they fundamentally are in order to beat you. And that is difficult unless you're extremely good at hiding yourself. The thing is, I think if I can get inside the system, if I'm able to work inside the system, that's going to be easier than it appears. It's a bit arrogant of me, but the one hides within the system. If you're able to work within it, it's a lot easier to find it. You can walk in the door to your side, or you can smash your head against the wall. One is more effective and easier than the other. I mean, because you can brute force that wall down. We are giant, 10-foot tall monsters. We can do that. But we could just open the door. It's not as bad for us. Certainly not certainly not the same display of strength or anything like that. But it's a lot easier. And it's also a lot more effective. You also leave less trace of your path, and opening and closing the door tends to leave less of a trail than a knockdown wall of bricks and dust. And I do have friends in the system.
Yeah, well, that's probably your biggest help right now is that, because you know people. Knowing people is good. Which borough?
Manhattan.
Okay, that's probably the best and most useful one for this one, really. Seeing as how everything they're doing is right there, you know?
Yeah. I'll have to make connections to Staten Island at some point, but that's going to be way down the line, and I'm much more prepared for that. That's where the big boys go to play, and I'm still a kid.
Right.
I'm still playing with Lego bricks right now. No Lego blocks for me.
Well, we definitely have some things that need to be worked on, I think. You think you'll just be there a few more days? In here?
A day or two, and I should be out.
Okay. Well, I guess I have a question for you then. Okay, first of all, do you need anything else while you're in here? Like something besides your Pokemon?
I think I'm good on material, thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay. You're gonna survive on the hospital food? It'll be all right.
It's better than outline food, not that much better, but at least they try.
Food is food, right? It's only a few days.
It's a few days, yeah, it's like a day or two. I'll be fine.
Okay. Because I was thinking I should probably get going. I just want to check and make sure you're all good. And there's not a whole lot you can do in here, I'm guessing, when it comes to that whole FFS thing. But once you get back out, maybe there is. So
I can scheme and plot like a bastard villain.
You can completely scheme and plot, by all means. You should also scheme and plot towards earning your rite of passage. That's also something good to scheme and plot about.
I'm always off that. I'm trying to reach it, but Philadox is a slow going from what I hear. So it's not a waiting game, but yeah. I'll try anyway.
You'll get there. You'll get there. I'm just, it's all good. It will come at the right time. You don't want to, you don't want to earn, you don't want to become an adult without actually, understanding everything,
Oh yeah, no. Makes sense. I don't want to rush this.
Well, because once you're Cleoth, they're not going to try to protect you as much. And that's when, I'm not saying that you want to always be protected, but, just make sure you're ready.
Well, my job is to protect others, not be protected myself, so
I know.
I'm at peace with that.
I'm just saying, be prepared. That's all I'm saying.
I'll have a few tricks ready.
Sounds like a winner. So, I guess I will let you go back to your game.
Yeah.
Or
Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. If you need anything, she'll find a piece of paper and write down her number because on him, to him and give it to him again. So if he needs to, he can at least call her, if nothing else. If you need something, just let me know. I can drop it by.
Thanks.
I just got to keep people from freaking out, but it can be done. Or I can send one of my sisters to do it if I can't do it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. The only person who's freaking out right now, though, is my mother.
Really what?
The only person who's freaking out right now, though, is my mother.
She's probably glad to have you back.
It's good to be back.
You get to keep your real name. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I actually have an ID now. I can get my ID back. That's actually very helpful. The lab says we get pulled over a lot.
What happened to your ID?
Well, I got kidnapped.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. I just thought you meant like your actual ID went missing for some reason.
Well, you kind of did because, you should. Fast changes usually do bad things to your clothing.
Just a little. They don't do nice things to the people around you either.
I kept the badge.
Well, you can probably get a new one of those as well, even though I know you said you kept it, but you probably don't want them to necessarily know that.
Well, maybe a guru, but the badge stays.
Priorities. All the priorities.
It's sentimental, what can I say?
Well, until the day that you're not a cop anymore, you're still a cop. And even then you might stay a cop, so who knows?
Yeah, it'll be with more regular working hours though. Probably a desk job. Not something on patrol. That's just not going to be able to happen, I think, in my condition. Maybe I can work something out. I'll have to have a long talk with some of the people in charge of how that's going to work.
Yeah, you might have to take a cut in pay or something, but yeah, evidence might be a good place. Still, cut and pay is still a job, and it's still useful, and it's still something you can do. You can play it maybe that you have PTSD or something.
He stops for a moment and thinks about that. He stops for a moment and thinks about that before answering. I'm kind of surprised I haven't come out of this, so makes you think about the people who might be. Why isn't that a depressing note for you to leave on?
Kind of, except there's a difference. If you're referring to other people who've been through violence or who have been kidnapped and then come out all messed up, if that's what you mean, because there's a difference. You're not a person now. You are a Garu. You are built to handle these things a little better. That doesn't mean that you don't have feelings or you don't react or you don't, do these things, but you have to learn to handle these things. You have no choice in the matter or you're just going to go crazy.
Well, so does every soldier as in service to a nation.
I serve my nation. My nation just isn't the United States.
Exactly.
Hmm?
Exactly. Anyway, I'm keeping you. You probably don't want to listen to me ramble all day and then go off on another roundabout.
I don't have any particular problem with it. It's just I have some things I have to get done. So I'll try to grab you another time. Okay?
No problem.
And she'll gather up her bag. Kind of offhandedly pull out another like chocolate bar, like kind of like the conversation they had from the other day, and drop it in his hands, and then turn to leave.
And I think as he just gleefully smiles at that chocolate bar, that is where we'll end our scene. Thank you, player for player. Thank you, watchers, for watching. See you next time.